Oh, hello. How's it going, everybody? Hey, it's good to see you. It's been a week. Goodness gracious. Hi, Jason. How are you doing today? Good to see you. I'm getting everything started here. This is going to be a completely fun hour we're spending today. I'm going to have to be setting things up as we go because we're going to try something new today that I've never done before. And what a better way to do that than live on the interwebs. What we got? Hi, Rick. How are you doing? Good to see you, Rick. Let's see here. We got some people coming in. All right. Charlie's here. Hi, Charlie. Good morning. How are you doing? David's here. What's up? What's up? Dale's here. Hey, Dale. How are you doing? How's everything going? And Dean's here. Hey, Dean. What's been going on with you? And Kevin's here. What up, Kevin? How are you doing? Okay, so a lot of things going on. A whole lot of things going on. We'll start with the content for today. I'm not going to go through the content. You can the podcast is actually I listened to the podcast last night. I did it about a week ago. Listened to it last night. It's about 3-note per string scales and playing fast. Everybody wants to play fast, right? And so what I did was, I'm getting my notes up here for the 7th, is I made a solo. I took a chord progression. Basically, I think it was four different licks pieced together and over a chord progression. Basically, what would happen if someone said, hey, why don't you, I need a solo for this, and it's over this section and go. And I wanted to do something that had a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs. Let's see if I can, let's see here. Let's get some sort of a... that kind of stuff that, you know, looks incredibly fast and difficult, but honestly is not that difficult because you start to use 3-note per string scale patterns. And for those of you who don't, and a lot of people haven't, a lot of people, they start off with the 5-pattern system, which I think is great too. That's what I play in 95% of the time, is the 5-pattern system. And basically what the 3-note per string systems are is blending between those scales, kind of starting in one pattern and crawling up into the next pattern. So you notice I started in the 5th position and ended up here with my pinky up around the 10th fret too. I have all of those patterns if you go into the freeblueslesson.com, where all of the licks episodes are stored. I also included for the key that we are in today, I included all of the patterns there as well. So I'm not going to go through all of those today. Have any of you tried any 3-note per string scales or ever used them in what you're playing? Let's see here. Maybe Jason. I'm going to ask Jason that question. Have you ever given it a shot? 3-note per string stuff. Some people, some guitar teachers online swear by it. They only want to teach that. That's what they want to do. I do not. I don't have that. Hard line one way or the other. They're both tools to me. The 5-pattern system, it's kind of the caged system. I don't follow that plan. That plan. I use the same patterns in a 5-pattern system, but I don't do the caged. Whoever mapped that out. It's neat for a beginner, and then it doesn't go much farther than that. It gets very confusing the way it's set up. But what those patterns are they're really around the arpeggio notes in the C, the A, the G, the E, and the D, and I found with a lot of popular music, you use a lot of bar chords, which are these basic shapes. And so the 5-pattern system works well with those arpeggio notes, with those chord tones. They're right there. The 3-note per string scales, because they climb up, you're not centered in the place where those arpeggios sit nice. You're there where the arpeggios are spread out, Here's a major 7th arpeggio across a 3-note per string scale in G. You end up taking up this much of the guitar. It's not in what they call a grip, right? Where you can just leave your hand there and everything that you need. You might have to move back and forth a little bit. Let's go to the chat. I love Kevin. I love Kevin's up there. Let's see. Richard's here. Hi, Richard. How are you doing today? Charlie says, nope. That's okay. This is, sometimes I dive deep into a subject, and sometimes I introduce a subject. And this is more introduce. There's a little bit more meat to it because these are licks. You can kind of see how they work. But for the most of the players that are in our community, I keep saying 3 notes per string. This is something that you might want to try. It's one of those hurdles. So you start off learning guitar, you learn a few chords, you feel like you're going nowhere, and then somebody says something nice to you about your playing, you're like, hey, it's not so bad. Boom, you're up there. And then you're going along, you start doing lead guitar, and you start playing out and everything like that, and boom, you're up there. And then things start to just stagnate for a while. And you realize that there's only so fast that you can play pentatonic scales, and it's only so fast that your major scales are working. And it's not you. You're doing your technique exercises. You're getting around on the guitar pretty good, but you've hit a wall. It's at some point the 5-pattern system starts to slow you down, and that's when 3 note per string you start getting into using hammer-ons and pull-offs and even amounts of notes on each string. That way you can get your picking solid. This is a down, up, down, up. If you're going to pick every note, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, those things. So introducing it, letting people know that if they start to get frustrated with 5-pattern systems and not being able to move forward, there is another thing that you can try. There is something that can speed things up. David says, have not done something like that 3 notes per string with on string with tapping. Well, for David, for the style of music that I know David loves and wants to play, this is something we're definitely going to be going into at some point. Jason says, yes, I'm running them now while I'm watching, but I tend to use the patterns. Me too. I use them as a tool. My basic normal playing mode is the 5 patterns. I get a lot out of those. But when I want that sound, or when I want to speed up, when I want to get things going, I go straight to 3 note per string scales. Matt's here. Hi, Matt. How you doing? Sidonia B. Hey, how you doing? Hope you're doing good today. Good to see you again. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. How's things? Hope everything's good. And Kevin says, I know one 3 NPS scale pattern that my original guitar teacher taught me in place of one of the scales in the 5 scale pattern system. Yeah, I'm currently developing. There's a lot going on behind the scenes right now. If you go to the academy, it looks like there's nothing going on, but there's a lot going on. Actually, a whole redesign of the academy is happening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, for like a day or two, I'm going to switch over to the new design and ask everyone to sign in and tell me what they think. I can switch it right back to how it is right now, not destructive, but I'm completing the 208. A lot of people are going through 208, and I'm just leading you through it, but I'm completing that right now. And then 209 is 3 note per string level. And 3 note per string level, there's a couple different ways that we can attack that, right? I'm going to go for the having it as transitions in between the patterns that we already know. So practicing the one we know, and then the 3-note per string going up to the one we know, and then the one that's in that pattern. Use them. I'm going to use them as kind of like transport. Do you know how we would play our scale patterns up, and I'd say, okay, to this time, when you go up to the next pattern, use the high E string, and then come back that pattern. And then the next line, go up, use the outside strings as transport to move you across the guitar. I think I'm going to, like I said, there's several different ways that you can go about this, but I want to have the 5-pattern system as the bass, and this and 3 notes per string as a tool to move through those patterns. A couple different things. One, you're grounded in patterns that you already know. You're just adding on to them. 2, you're moving in between them, which is always good on the guitar, moving around. And 3, we'll get to see arpeggio shapes, where they are, and also blending them across the neck. Not just, well, this is always my arpeggio shape here. Well, yeah, we can start borrowing notes from there, as opening up the fretboard as well too. Kevin said, "Hi, Chris. It's good to see Chris." Yes, it's good to see. How's things where everyone's at today? Are things cooling down? I know our folks in Australia's weather is completely different than most, but we're starting. We've been baking. That's what I've been trying to get out, baking for 3 months, and now in the evenings, temperature's starting to go down a little bit too. So we're going to be going out. For those of you who were following me, I live right about 6 miles away from Disney World. So when I first moved here, I was going out all the time and live streaming it and having fun with a good bunch of you. And then they kind of cracked down on that. They weren't selling annual passes, and I found a way that I could go there and get something to eat and go around, and then they kind of cracked down on that for everybody. Well, I now have annual passes. So after today, so we'll be doing a lot more of that, kind of hanging out, letting you guys hang out with me as I kind of go around and just have some fun. So that'll be coming back too. Jason says after the first temperature dropped drastically. Yeah, that's hasn't dropped drastically here. We're still in the 91, 92 Fahrenheit in the afternoons, but the evenings and the mornings are a little different. The humidity's kind of coming back on the outsides just a little bit. Coke says, I feel that's a natural step once you see how each pattern touches and you develop the choice. I can play the same note here or here. Where I'm going, how fast do I want to get there? Yeah. And, it all comes down to building melodies, right? And that's forgotten a lot. It's forgotten that all these scale patterns and all the tones and all the things, and it all gets to creating melodies, right? And just playing fast isn't a melody, but playing fast to support a melody is fantastic. So knowing kind of your limits, knowing it, and what you're going to do with, it could be a mellow solo where you play low most of the time and long notes are what you're looking for. Or it could be a solo that builds, and at some point hits a high note, or a impressive lick or something where you're featuring something, you're setting something up. 3-note per string scales are great for setting things up. Knowing, okay, I'm here, but I know at some point I'm going to hit this note up here. How do I get there? And what's a smooth way to get there? That's another thing too. It's It's smooth. If you want to, you hear players who play legato and that sound, that really, really, really smooth sound is for a while when I remember I was like 17, 18 and didn't have all of the stuff that we have now. And I was trying to figure that out. And I thought it was like I would listen to Santana, right? And Santana had this tone that was like a buttery tone. And it was, it was a humbucker, neck humbucker, same with Clapton, the woman tone, right? And I thought getting that sound, it was all about tone for me. I was trying to get that tone, kind of a warm tone, but I was missing the point that it wasn't even I could get a smooth sound from just a clean, like a plinky, dry, clean sound. It was how I attacked it. It was more my fingers than it was now, if you get a nice round, warm tone too, and play 3 notes per string, play legato sounding, lots of hammer-ons and pull-offs, that's going to make it go even more. But I could get a smoother sound clean. Let's see here. That's not actually clean. I think there's a tube screamer on there. So where I would normally picking every note, what I used to do. Right. So things were opening up for me at 17, 18 years old. I was starting to learn about these things. I was starting to learn about, actually, when you thought of hammer-ons and pull-offs, and if you think about 17 or 18, for me, would have been 1987 or 88, right? And the music that was playing there was this. It was when you think of hammer-ons and pull-offs, it was tapping. And I did all the tapping stuff. And, but that was more of an effect. I didn't really use it in my playing until I was about 17 or 18. Then fun stuff started happening. I started getting some of these tones that I want to. And 3 notes per string, what I did at the time is I didn't know 3 notes per string. I just started going outside of my scale patterns, searching for those other notes that would let me do hammer-ons and pull-offs as I went down the scale. Kind of figuring that out on my own, and then later on seeing a whole system for it there. Let's see here. David says Lee Walks Disney is back. That's right. We'll have to head down as a guest walker. Yeah. And, like doing interviews. I do a few interviews on the podcast, but I figure a walk through Disney with some Academy members or it's a fun place to just kind of hang out and walk. So yeah, man, come on up. That'd be fun. I'm going starting back tomorrow. Chris says, hey, had to dive out as got a call, but am back now. Been thinking about you a lot. We've been, daughter and I have been driving around at lunch every day, and we've discovered Youth Gone Wild, right? And 18 Life. We've been listening to Skid Row. Skid Row, interesting band for me because they were kind of close to where I grew up. I grew up right in where Jersey and Pennsylvania and Delaware kind of come together, right there in Maryland. I lived right where all those states kind of come together. And so I knew a lot of people who knew them, not the singer was from, I think he's Canadian and he came in late, but the other guys were like Jersey guys that were around with musicians that I kind of knew and stuff. It's a fun band. So we've been having fun listening to that. And I know Chris is a big Skid Row fan. So, just thought I'd bring that up. Okay. So in a few minutes, I'm going to try and set up something called Kahoot. I'm trying it out here. So this is a big try. This could go horribly wrong. Okay, but what better way to try it out here? We go horribly wrong. But I want to start doing some more interactive things. So what we've done the past 2 weeks, we did kind of a poll, right? I went down and got a list of what you could conceive as the most famous 70s guitar players, and we pitted them against each other, and then finally came out on top with I think it was Jimmy Page, and walked away with it, right? I think it was. It's Clapton and Page, and I think Page walked away with it. Let's see here. Let me log in to Kahoot. And how this is going to work, if I can do this correctly, is on your screen, you're going to see a number, right? And you can go to, if you have some sort of other device, or your computer or whatever, a different tab on your computer, you'll go to something to Kahoot. I'll tell you exactly what it is as soon as I get this going. It'll give you a number. So you can actually get an app on your phone, the Kahoot app. Yeah, I'm looking at some. You can use the app, or you can just use a browser and go to, I think it's kahoot.it.com. I'm going to present it here. Let me see if I can get this. Okay. Oh, we got to get rid of that music. There we go. Okay, let me share this screen here. Okay. Let me know if you can see that. So let's see here. The number is 961 565. Like I may be doing this completely wrong, but that's the number for Kahoot. I see Jason's in there. Okay, and it says right here, join at, let me get this even larger for you there. Join at www.kahoot.it or with the Kahoot app, 961-565. And this is going to be kind of a electric guitar firsts. And I came up with 11 or 12 different multiple choice questions. Have fun. And I did this with the understanding that it wasn't going to, go smoothly today. So I just did something kind of quick. But what we will do, if we can get enough people playing on this, I'll get a whole bunch of different stuff. It's a lot of fun. I've played this live streaming on many different live streams that we watch at home. It's always a lot of fun. So we're going to say, let's see, Rick and Jason have signed up. We'll wait for a few more people to sign up before we get started. And what I will do is we got some, let's see here. Chris says, new Skid Row album out soon. Yeah, those first two albums are mega, absolute red hot guitar. Yeah. And what my daughter likes is that when they play ballads, right? The songs that start off like 18 in Life and I Remember You, and it starts off kind of quiet, and you can count to about 5, and then the drums are at full. It's like they're just okay. We're playing a slow song, but yeah. So it's a lot of aggression. We've been listening to some really cool stuff driving around. We've been. I played her my favorite favorite album that I used to listen to before I went to gigs, and this would be jazz gigs. This would be weddings. any kind of, not really heavy gig, I would still listen. It's Rust in Peace by Megadeth. It was my favorite album. If you listen to that album, you are ready to go when you get there, right? So we've been listening to Skid Row and Megadeth right there. Mike's in. Hey, Mike. Awesome. So we got Mike and Kevin, Rick and Jason. We'll wait a little bit more too. We'll see if we get some more folks in here. And so what happens is we start this. You'll see on my screen here, you'll see all the questions. And then on your device, you can tap in the answers there, and it will keep score for all of us, and hopefully it will work. David says, concerts coming back. Went to Korn and Stained last month, and have Shine Down, Seether, and Rolling Stone over the next... Wow, man. You are out. You've got it going on. That's awesome. I am just... this Disney thing is about what we can handle right now. But Epcot, we get a lot of folks coming in there too. Charles says, sorry, don't have tech for Kahoot today. Sounds like fun. Next time. No problem. I'm just trying this out. I don't know how it's going to work. But we have 6 now. So we'll give about 30 seconds. If anybody wants to join in, what I like to do is have the YouTube showing this, and then my phone doing the Kahoot pad. But we'll get started in a second. But don't worry about that, Charlie. No problem at all. And if you don't have that, you can just throw your answer into the chat. That'd be fine too. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's see how this is going to work. So we're doing electric guitar firsts in 3, 2, 1. So here's the good. What was the first electric guitar that Fender put up for sale? We have the Telecaster, the Broadcaster, Esquire, or the Stratocaster. So go ahead and put your answers in now when they pop up on your phone. Let's see here. I'm going to try and get I'm going to let that run down. And, okay, so Esquire. Esquire was the first electric guitar that Fender put up for sale. Most people think it's the Broadcaster. I hear about a lot. Or the Telecaster. You hear that a lot. The Esquire was a one pickup, similar to the Telecaster, one pickup guitar. So let's see, who do we got here? Let's see here. Let's see if I can. No, that's not it. I was going to try and see who got that one. Who got that one right in the chat? We got 4 in. What do we have? 6 playing. So let's make sure everybody got it. All right. For those who want to join in, the game pin is down at the bottom. It's 961565. We've got the Esquire just come up. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, there we go. So Rick got it. Got all the points. 643 for Rick. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here. Next question we got. Why did we not see a whole bunch of Esquires? Why did they not go into mass production? We've got 4 choices here. 1, it was too heavy, or it didn't have a truss rod, or the paint kept falling off, or it wouldn't stay in tune. Charlie put the Esquire up there in the chat, so we'll throw that in there. Okay, good. So Charlie got the first one right. So it was too heavy, paint kept falling off, didn't have a truss rod, wouldn't stay in tune. Only one answered in that time. I think maybe it's giving us 30 seconds. So this is what I thought. It was going to be rough today. So I think that 30 seconds doesn't give you a whole lot of time to answer. So we only got 1 in there today. Let me know in the chat if you're having a difficult time with this. But let's talk about this. The answer: why did the Esquire not go into mass production? They built a few of them, and if you've got one of those, you've got a collector's item, but you don't have a player. And why is that? Didn't have a truss rod. Chris says my timing isn't matched. No worries, no problem. I'm going to let's see if I can adjust midstream how long it play edit time limit. I'm going to put it on 2 minutes. Okay, so let's see here. Charlie says Charlie said too heavy, and Kevin says Gilmore still plays it. Yeah, they I think they had an Esquire later on. This was he might have. I know Gilmore probably has the first ones, but later on they did a one pickup guitar called an Esquire as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and move down here, and let's see. I tried to update it to last longer, so I'm going to start the next question. Rick is cleaning up with this. It's also how fast you answer as well. So I'm going to go ahead. You should be now we're out of sync. What was the first Fender electric guitar that was mass produced? Still on the 30 seconds. It didn't change it for this one. Okay, so we got Les Paul. We've got Telecaster, the Dinky, and the Broadcaster. What was the first Fender electric guitar that was mass produced? First one that was put out there. All right, so we have the Broadcaster. Okay, so the Broadcaster had, what was that? It was I think it was a 2 pickup. They replaced the Esquire with the Broadcaster. They did some refinements, put a truss rod in, and then came out with that. I'm going to get my notes here. I had a whole bunch of notes. Don't see the question in the app. Okay. Well, we'll keep working on this here. We'll see what happened. So that did it showed up for let's see here. Let's see who got it. Rick got that one too. Rick's on fire. He's on a streak. He's got 3 correct answers in a row for that one. Yeah, the first Fender production was in 1951. And it was the Broadcaster. It was 2 pickups and a truss rod. They had pre-orders for that. You do not see. Okay, so let's see here. David says Les Paul. And I do not see the questions in the browser. Okay. Which one? In the one that you're playing on, or the one that you're... Don't see the questions in the app. Let's see. Well, let's try this next one, see if this one works okay. Next. So, how much did the Broadcaster first sell for? So, it should now, that once I press... Now, there's a delay in between what I'm saying and what you're hearing. There's a delay in between me starting this, and you should get it in a few seconds. It should tell you the question, and it should have the different prices that I have for this one. This question is, how much did the first Broadcaster sell for? So you got $45.99, $299.99, $1,200, and $169.95. Dean, did that one work better for you, or are you still not seeing it in the browser? I'm learning a lot doing this. I've been on your end. I've been on the playing end. But did this time it show you the question? We'll see. So we got 2 for $45.99. No one picked the $1,200. And $299. We got 1 for that, and then the $169.95. Charlie says $350. $350. Yours timed up just as the question came up. Okay. Next time I do this, I'll make sure that I add some extra time to this. I tried to do it while we were playing. Still not. I'm going back and forth, and all I see are the shapes. Okay. You just have to choose the color. All right. So I will retest it when we get back. I mean, when I get this afternoon, when I get some time to do that, test it on myself to see. Next, let's try this. Sorry about that, Dean. So Rick is in the lead with 26.59. Jason has 7.89, and Dean is 6.43. So we got some other folks on the board now. Charlie said 2.99 for that. Okay. Here we go. Here's the next question. Next question is, how much did the broadcaster first sell for? That's the same question. Let's skip that. So next. We're going to skip that one. Here we go. Why did they change the broadcaster's name to the Telecaster? So the red is no one bought the broadcaster. The blue is they were sued by Gretsch. The yellow is Gibson already had a broadcaster. And the green is it looked like a television. So red, no one bought it. Blue, they were sued by Gretsch. Yellow, Gibson had a broadcaster. And green, it looked like a television. So go ahead and put those in now. Okay, so we got 3 for sued by Gretsch, and that is the right answer. Gretsch had the rights to the name broadcaster. So they hit them right away with that. I think maybe. Let's see here. Richard said mine timed up just as the question came up. Yeah, so my problem with this is if I restart it, we lose everything that we've done. And so next time, I'm going to make sure that it gives us like several minutes time to give people more time, because everyone's probably getting my end of it at a different time. So let's see what we got here. Rick, 33.20. Jason has moved up to 12.92. Dean has moved up. Dean got that one. Okay, to 11.80. And David R has 8.89. Okay. Let's get ready for the next one here. Here we go. This question is, why did Gibson start making electric guitars? For red, mandolin sales were declining. Yellow, Rickenbacker's Hawaiian lap steel guitars were popular. Blue, Les Paul asked them to make his prototype. And green, they were in financial decline. Okay. Richard says he ran his forward and it's a lot closer. Yeah, so sometimes if YouTube lags on your own device, you can kind of hit the red dot and move it to live, and then we'll get a little bit closer. That may be what the problem is here. So why did Gibson start making electric guitars? The answer was Rickenbacker's Hawaiian lap steel guitars were very popular at the time. That was 1932, and that was a fad. Hawaiian lap steels were very popular, and everyone was doing it, and they were starting to play them electric. It was really, really... what was the name of that one? Let's see, I have that. The Rickenbacker frying pan was the guitar. The lap steels, Hawaiian lap steel electric guitar, was in 1931 to 1932. That got popular, so Gibson decided, we got to get in on this, right? Oh, Richard says he's within 5 seconds now. Cool. Good. That's good. That's good. The frying pan, right? The frying pan. So we got the frying pan, and Gibson was trying to cash in on some of that. Let's see what we got here. Let's see the scoreboard here. Richard's in there. Richard's got 660. Rick's at the top, 3320. Jason with 1292. Dean 1180. And David at 889. Okay. So we're going to move on to the next question. Next question is, who made the first production guitar amplifiers? Red would be Fender, yellow would be Gibson, blue would be Rickenbacker, and green would be Soldano. Let's see here. Chris says, I'm getting the window to answer, but my answers are just trash. Okay. All right. I just did this for fun. We're going to get more in depth and if any of you get any ideas for quizzes like this too, we could do several quizzes over an hour or do some other fun stuff too. I got a lot of ideas for this. But that's funny, Chris. That's funny. And let's see here. So what do we have? We had 4 chose Fender, 1 chose Rickenbacker, 0 chose Gibson, and 1 was Soldano. Yeah, so this kind of comes after the last question. The last question was who did the first one, and it was Rickenbacker trying to get into those Hawaiian guitars. Gibson was chasing Rickenbacker, but they also had to have an amp for these lap steel things. So that was like 1931, and then Gibson's came out right after that, 32. So right in that era right there. So Rickenbacker's really big. A lot, you think of Rickenbacker, you think of Beatles, and you think of 50s and 60s, but they were instrumental in everything that we're doing right now. Let's see how we did here. Jason moved up on that one. Jason moved up to 1947. Richard, David, and Dean are about the same with Rick on that one. Okay. Let's move on to the next question. Here comes your next question. The question is, what year was Gibson's first amplifier released? I may have been wrong in what I said before. I may have been wrong. I just said it. I just said a date. Don't take that as true. I have to look at my notes. But 1932, 1934, red is 1932, yellow 1934, blue 33, and green 35. Let's see what we got. The answer is 35. I said 32. It was right after that. It was a few years after that. They came in with their amplifier at 35. We have 1 for 32, 1 34. 2 for 34, 1 for 33, and 2 for 1935. Let's see what that changes. Dean moving up there. Yes. And Kevin's on the board with 755 there. So we've moved with a big move up with the arrow there. So Rick's still up top at 3320. And we're going to move forward a little bit with this here. The next question, we're going to go right now to the next question. Next question is, what was the first guitar pedal released for sale? Red is the Diarmid Tremolo. Yellow is the Boss OD1. Blue is the Tube Screamer. Should have made that green, but it's blue is Tube Screamer. And green is the Maestro Fuzz Tone. Red, Diarmid. Yellow, Boss. Blue, Tube Screamer. And green, Maestro Fuzz Tone. We're coming down to the end. 2, 1, bam. The Diarmid Tremolo. In fact, they had a volume pedal and a tremolo. Tremolo came out first. Volume pedal was right in there. First time that you could go out and buy a pedal to, change your sound. What a lot of people were doing. Actually, I can't get into that. There may be a question revolving that. But pedals started. Let me see if I can get it. All right. So 1946, the DeArmond tremolo control. So you had tremolo, vibrato built into amplifiers, but 46, the tremolo control, and this was heard on album. The most famous use of this, the earliest, most famous use was Bo Diddley in 55. He had the hit song that was self-titled Bo Diddley, and that was the pedal that he used on that right there. And Jason says, "Is that the oil can?" I would think so. And that you always hear that as being the oldest, having more of like a sharper attack to it. So you may be right with that. I'm not 100% sure, but that was heard 9 years later in Bo Diddley. It was used to record. We're going to talk a little bit about Fuzz Face too. So let's see what so Richard moves up with this. Richard's in the top 5, 1282. And let's see here. Let's move to the next question. This is the last one that I had time to put up. What was the first commercially released fuzz pedal? Red would be Big Muff. Yellow is Dunlop Fuzz Face. Blue is Maestro FZ1. And green is the Vox Tone Bender. Big Muff, Fuzz Face, FZ1, or Tone Bender. Could go for it. If I didn't know the answer for this, I know what I would have picked, and I would have been wrong. So we've got the Maestro FZ1 was the first fuzz, commercially released fuzz. That's a Gibson pedal, Gibson Maestro FZ1 fuzz tone. And that sound, the sound of that pedal, everyone knows really well. That was released. That pedal was sold in 62, started selling in 62. In 65, the Stones put out Satisfaction. And there's a story with that I've heard for years that Keith Richards, they wanted to put a horn line in that song. And what ended up happening is he put some guitar down and he wanted it to sound different. He wanted it to sound like, well, this is where a horn line would be. It's just basically holding the place to get an idea of what a horn line would sound there. So he wanted to change the sound of his guitar. He used that Gibson, the Maestro Fuzz, FZ1 fuzz tone in there to simulate a horn section, and then they kept it. They loved it. So that was a neat kind of thing there. So that was in 65, Satisfaction. Okay, that's all the questions I had. That's why I was coming in right at the last minute to get this started. I figured this was not going to work at all. It worked a little bit. Next time I know what I'll do differently. What'd you guys think? Was this fun? We could do a lot of different things. I just picked something that was, easy for me to go and get the facts for. But I've got a lot of different ideas for this. Electric guitar first. Here's the podium. Dean is in third place with 25.43. Jason is in second place with 26.29. And in first place, we have Rick. Yeah, Rick. Okay, we got to keep track of these. I'm going to make sure I'm going to put down Rick as the winner of electric guitar trivia. RIC. Winner. Okay, so we're going to keep track of our winners for these. But, we can do a lot of different things. A lot of different things with this. I was just wanting to hang out with you guys, try it out. If it completely bombed, that was cool with me too. Chris says, "Nice one, Lee. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it." And then Kevin says, "It would have been more fun if I got more answers right." I don't know. So if you guys like it, let me know. We can keep doing some more of this. If not, we can move on to some other stuff. But I've got a lot of stuff planned, and plus, going to be going next week. We're going to start doing some Q&As for the Academy before this one. So I'm planning 10:30. I'm going to send an email out tomorrow. I'm planning 10:30 next week. We'll do a Q&A for the Academy, any questions that anyone wants to have. And we're going to start trying to do some community stuff. Have some ideas for that. Different community things going on, but Q&A is definitely maybe bi-weekly, maybe every week. I'm not sure yet, but definitely going to start next week at 10:30. And right after that, we're going to come right in here and do some guitar fun stuff too. Let's see. Charlie says, fun stuff. Cool. Kevin said it was fun. Awesome. Richard says, very cool. Keep it up. I'll do it. Chris says, yeah, happy to do that again at some point. Yeah, I'm going to mix it up, do some different things. I really liked the pool, the playoff standing thing we did last week too. We'll do several different of these interactive things that we can do online. So we definitely get a chance to hang out at least once a week. And I'm not just going over the same stuff that I say in the podcast. Listen to the podcast though. Please listen to the podcast. It's a good one. And make sure that you download. I put a lot of different backing tracks, got the PDFs there. I did a lot of work for this one. So if you have a chance to work on your 3NPS stuff with the podcast this week, it would be fun. Rick says that was fun. Awesome. Okay, everybody. I'm gonna go grab some lunch. I'll let it when I start doing the live streaming, the Disney live streaming stuff, I'll let everybody know. And tomorrow I'm going to Epcot for the first time in 20 years. Goodness, it's been a long time. So I'm going to go to Epcot tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to live stream that the first time. I might. I never know. Depends on what's going on. But I will. I'll let the folks know when that's going to happen. Definitely next week we'll be doing some of that stuff too. And getting out of the house. And Chris says, I already listened to the podcast already. Awesome. Awesome. Very cool. Okay, everybody, have a great rest of your day. And I will see I'll see coaching students on Friday and the following Monday, whichever your day is. And I'm going to also be in touch with the redesign for the Academy. Would love to have a few people know that it's going to happen and come in and let me know what they think. The idea for this is, in the Academy, the biggest problem of the whole thing was the navigation on the left. It just showed too much, and I was not able to go in and change that. No matter what, only thing I would do is it would actually show more than what was shown. So I want to have very basic, like 5 or 6 things to navigate with, and then go on to the other one. So to do that, I found a new theme for it that will do that right out of the box. And I can't wait to show it to you guys. And then what seems like nothing's been going on with the Academy, I can start showing you all the work I've done, and we're going to have some fun with that too. Richard says 36, and Jason says, great time. We'll catch the cast on the way to work. Awesome. Thanks. Okay, everybody, I will see you soon. Have a great rest of your day.